It's the morning weather briefing. This is for Tuesday, the 6th of August. I'm James Spann. Alabama's weather looking really dry for a while. Of course, we have Tropical Storm Debby off to the east. In fact, let's go right to the radar this morning, and you can see those tremendous bands of tropical rain rolling into the South Carolina coast coming in off the Atlantic. Charleston just inundated with tremendous amounts of rain overnight. They're under a flash flood warning. And much more about the tropics in just a moment. Let's look at the big picture. And you can see that we've got the upper ridge centered west of the state. The mid-latitude westerlies, the jet stream to the north, pretty classic summer look, and the tropical system off to the east. That's the radar composite, much of South Carolina in tropical rain this morning. Around here, we are in the 70s in most spots to start the day. We're expecting highs up in the 90s today. It's going to be a hot afternoon. But the good news, we are going to see a cooler air mass dropping in here this weekend. Of course, that is a relative term for August. We'll check the watch warning map around the nation this morning. We have flash flood watches on the Atlantic coast from Georgia, almost up to New York City. Again, some heat issues out west. Here's a look at the severe weather outlook today and tonight. A marginal risk with Debby on the coast of the Carolinas. Risk of severe storms from near Indianapolis to New York City. A chance of severe storms for much of Montana and some of the adjacent states. And how about the chance of severe storms around Phoenix and southern Arizona with the monsoon there? Tomorrow, again, a marginal risk on the coast of the Carolinas with Debby, a marginal risk over the western high plains states, and on day 3, which is Thursday, got a marginal risk on the mid-Atlantic coast, and again, that is with Debby, the slow-moving tropical system, and obviously the big rains on the east coast with Debby, from Savannah all the way up to Boston, but around here, just not much at all. You can see for most of Alabama, basically no meaningful rain through Tuesday morning of next week, which is pretty quiet. Typically every day in August, we have the chance of scattered afternoon and evening storms, but not in this case with Debby pushing in this offshore air mass from the north. So other than Debby, the tropics are really pretty quiet. You can look at that there across the vast Atlantic basin, and you just don't see a lot happening, especially out there in that MDR, the main development region, which is a good thing. But we do note that little tropical wave in the southern Caribbean with hardly any convection. And the Hurricane Center continues to give this a 30% chance of developing over the next 7 days. If anything happens to form there, this will likely wind up in the far southwestern Gulf of Mexico in a week, and of course remains to be seen what happens from there. Most likely it keeps on moving into Mexico, but again, just simply something to watch for now. And again, we'll take a look at Debby. Again, this is the radar view, and you can see that just those tremendous tropical rains continue pushing into South Carolina from the Atlantic. And again, Charleston seems to be the bullseye. The maximum sustained winds have decreased to 45 miles per hour. The center of circulation is about 50 miles southwest of Savannah. And the big rains north and east of the circulation center. And here's the latest track from the National Hurricane Center. And again, the problem is simply the fact this thing just doesn't want to move quickly. It meanders off into the Atlantic, then comes back into the coast of South Carolina near Charleston Thursday afternoon, and then finally gets picked up and carried out this weekend. By Friday night, the circulation center near Washington, D.C. and Baltimore, and then by Saturday night, it's a post-tropical system off the coast of Maine. But the legacy with this will be the flooding and the heavy rain because of the slow motion. We've talked about this a lot this past several days. A slow-moving tropical system is never a good thing like this. But again, eastern South Carolina, parts of North Carolina, again, they could see over 10 inches of additional rain with this. And also some heavy rain likely up into parts of the upper Atlantic coast, New Jersey, New York, up into parts of New England. But Alabama stays on the dry side. So model fans, here we go. This is the GFS. This is the 06C run, valid today at 4. Heat Ridge off to the west. Debby off to the east. And again, we are dry and hot with highs in the 90s. Check the high-resolution HER, valid this evening at 6 o'clock. And again, you can see the rain off to the east with Debby through the eastern part of the Carolinas and southeastern Georgia. So this is tomorrow. Debby is just offshore. Alabama dry. The heat will probably peak here tomorrow with highs in the mid to upper 90s. Should be the hottest day of the week. So this is Thursday, and again, the GFS buys into this idea of retrogression, and again, it's an outlier. It's got the thing into eastern Georgia. Most of the other models have it up into the Carolinas, which is where the Hurricane Center has their track. One way or the other, Alabama's still dry with mid-90s. Friday, the GFS gradually buying into the European solution. It's got it moving northeast. You know, for a while, the GFS tried to back the thing up into Alabama with a big rain here Friday and Saturday, and that's not going to happen. We're dry. The high Friday, low to mid-90s. This is Saturday. Debby weakens and moves rapidly northeast. We are dry to start the weekend, but it will be noticeably cooler. And I use that term relatively speaking, but it sure looks like the northern half of Alabama will likely see highs under 90, and that's with no clouds, no rain. The humidity values come way down. It should be an amazingly pleasant day for August. And this is Sunday morning. We're going to see lows in the 60s, and just maybe, we could see some of the cooler pockets in the upper 50s over North Alabama. This is the precipitable water on Sunday morning. And the shades of blue you see on this map, that is very dry continental air coming in from the north. And again, that's going to get the dew points down towards 60 during the day Sunday. So really a very pleasant weekend ahead with lower humidity, cooler nights, and highs under 90 for the northern half of the state, Saturday and Sunday. Monday, we're still dry, and this is a week from today, Tuesday, August 13th. We have a northwest flow aloft. And still a pretty dry air mass. I guess we could introduce the chance of isolated showers toward the latter half of next week. But again, the prospect of meaningful rain is not looking good for much of next week. So let's keep going. Let's go out 10 days. This is Thursday, August 15th. Heat Ridge a little off to the west. And again, you can see finally evidence we might see a few scattered showers and storms toward the latter half of next week. That's the GFS, but the European, not very bullish on rain here for a while. This is the rain coming off the Euro Ensemble, and we always look for the green line, and you can see just nothing, at least for the next 7 days, and the mean is under 1 inch between now and the 21st of August. That's pretty dry. And heat levels, again, the peak of the heat will likely come tomorrow, with mid to upper 90s, but look at those upper 80s for the weekend, like we've talked about. We'll celebrate that. And lows well down in the 60s by Sunday and Monday morning. Come on now. And then mostly low 90s, low to mid 90s for next week. And the latest 8 to 14-day guidance, this is for August 13th through August 19th. Temperatures a little above average if this works out. So boy, oh boy, what a sunset on the Gulf Coast last night. Our friends down at Panama City Beach, just glorious conditions there. And again, we're thankful that Panama City Beach, Cape San Blas, Indian Pass, they all stayed on the dry west side of the circulation. And it turned out to be just absolutely gorgeous. This was taken on the Alabama Gulf Coast last night. But this was some video taken over at Tybee Island, Georgia, late yesterday. As Debby was approaching, you can see the wind and the angry surf there. And again, that's quite a contrast to those scenes you saw on the Florida and Alabama Gulf Coast. And again, it's a rough ride for them today as Debby continues to just slowly creep through there. And did you see the deal in Buffalo, New York yesterday? Wow. This was sent to me from a traveler that was up there. This was taken from the Westin in downtown Buffalo. And that was a water spout that came in, and it did not dissipate. and this created some pretty significant damage in downtown Buffalo. In fact, the National Weather Service in Buffalo rated this tornado an EF1. And they don't get those that often up there. That was quite the scene yesterday. All right, don't forget we have a book signing on Saturday. We are going to be in Utah, Greene County. And the deal is I'll be doing a severe weather safety talk at 9, which will not last long. Nobody likes a long, boring talk, but you'll get a little miniature storm spotting session. And we need more storm spotters in Greene County. So severe weather safety, storm spotting. Then we'll do a book signing of 9:30 to 11:30. And again, it will be at the Young Community Center in Utah. So we would love to see you there. We need more trained spotters out there in the field, and you'll never look at a storm the same again if you come see us. So again, that is Saturday, Utah. So, the severe weather talk, spotter training at 9. We'll start the book signing at 9:30. And, of course, we invite you to watch us on television this evening, ABC 3340 News at 4, 5, 6, and 10 o'clock. Thanks for watching. Have a great day, and God bless.